asking. There we are. I'm just wondering, are you coming to our festival as well? Will you be on the open mic?
And how you doing, Maria? Yeah, I'm coming to your festival for sure.
Yay!
Yes, I have booked in for the open mic, so hopefully I will get a chance to do that as well.
Well, I'm booking in now to as well to make sure that I get to see you do your thing, because I love your tellings on Zoom, but I really love them when they're live as well. There's some extra layer for me when you tell live, Vince. So
that's good.
I'm
Yeah, and
looking
my
forward to
is
that.
back as well. That's true.
Yeah. Have you been enjoying tonight?
Lovely. Yeah, absolutely lovely. Yeah.
Great.
Terrific. The range of places is great, isn't it? People from all over.
Yeah. That's the silver lining to this COVID cloud. And I hope that when we all come back together again, that we'll crisscross the country and the countries to meet one another, to tell stories, and to remember this time and what it's given us, instead of all of the stuff that people perceive it to have taken away.
I know. Yeah. It's great.
So now, looking forward to hearing what you have to tell us.
Okay, so I have a story for you, and it's the story about a man called Tom Maher. Tom Maher was a small farmer, and he was about 25 or 6 years old. And at the time of the story, he'd recently lost his mum, only about a few months before, and his dad he had lost many years before as a child. But at the evening of the story, it's called Tom Maher's Gift. And Tom Maher's, the evening that he got his gift was kind of an extraordinary evening, but it began very, very ordinarily. He had lost his little calf. Well, she was missing at the time, a little black calf he had. He loved it very much, his favorite one. And he was off down through his fields looking for the calf. And in the middle of his farm, there was an old ring fort, and it was probably the dominant thing in the whole area. And he knew that fort inside out, every bush and every twig. So he was a bit surprised when he started to approach the fort. He could see a sort of a yellow light or a yellow glow coming from one side of the fort. And like he did not ever see that before. So kind of gave him a bit of a scare, really. But he made his way along towards the fort anyway, and he could definitely see this kind of a pale yellow light coming from one side of the fort. And as he got nearer, he could see that it was from inside the fort, and he climbed over the bank and down the other side, and his heart nearly stopped. Because there, on the inside of the bank of the fort, was a small little wooden door, bound in metal, kind of half opened, and the light was actually coming through the door from something beneath. So he was gasping for breath. It was a fright to get, because he knew every inch of that. There was never, ever a door there. Man and boy, he knew it. He was just starting to recover himself a small bit when a voice came from behind him. "Don't be afraid, Tom Maher." And he turned around, and there was a girl there of about 14 or 15 years old. Now, she was a little bit strange looking, but she said, "Tom, my mistress would like to speak to you. Will you come with me?" And before he had a chance to answer, she caught his hand, swung open the door, and off down stone steps they went through the door. Down and down along these store steps, and he was literally bouncing along and wondering where he was going. And they got to the bottom, and there were a few doors down there, and she went straight in through one of the doors and into a room. And he was like, "Oh my God, what's happening here?" And in the room, there was about 10 or 12 people, and a large bed, and an old lady in the bed who clearly was not long left in this world. She was very, very old looking, ancient looking. And she was obviously the lady that he had been asked to come and speak to. So Tom knew these were not ordinary people. He knew where he was. He was with the good people, the fairy people. And it didn't feel afraid. It didn't feel any threat. It felt like a safe place. And the old lady held out her hand. "Come here, Tom Maher," she said. "We know you well, even though you don't know us." So he went to her, and gradually the rest of the people left the room. "Tom," she said, "we knew your mother well. We knew your mother all your life. Long before you were born, we knew your mom. She did us a great service long, long time ago. And as you probably know, she had a gift, and she had the gift of healing. And he knew that because she'd passed it on to him. He had the gift of healing as well. But you may not know she had another gift, and that was the gift of foresight. And one of the last things that she asked us to do was to pass that gift on to you, if you would take it. Now, the gift of foresight is a very, very amazing gift, because it literally means that things which haven't happened yet, you can see. And in these mum's case, it was kind of visions. She wouldn't know everything that was going to happen in the future, but she would have visions. And in these visions, the things she saw happened. So the gift of foresight in that sense. Now she said, Tom, before you say anything, let me warn you. This is not just a simple thing. When you have this gift, if you have this gift, the forces of darkness will want you. They will want this gift as well because it's very, very useful to them. And they will try to convert you and take you to their side. But we think you're strong enough to resist it. We would trust you. And we think you'll be okay with it. Well, Tom, as much as he was amazed and kind of scared, he knew if his mother had this gift all her life, that he should take it. And if she had wanted him to take it, he should take it. So he agreed that he would take it. Now she said, Tom, how it's going to happen is tomorrow morning, when you wake up, you will have the gift. And that's it. You'll wake up, you'll just have it. Now, there's another bit of business I have as well, Shelley. Your mum also asked me to do another thing. What the hell is the story with you and Eileen Ryan? And now, Eileen Ryan was the finest woman in the place, all around the area. And she was still single. Now, the reason she was still single was she was waiting for Tom. Well, Tom was a shy boy. And he never asked her. All the times that she'd met him and all the signs that she'd given had gone right over his head. Or if they didn't, he was still a bit scared to ask her. She said, Tom, this is your last chance. I know. There's a dance on tonight in the village. Whatever you do, ask that girl to dance. It's very, very important that you do that tonight. So, okay, so Tom, I'll do that. And then before he left, she said, look, there's a chain here that I'm wearing, and I'm going to give it to you. Sorry, she said, there's a chain that you're wearing. How will you give it to me for one night? And the next time you see this chain, keep it. It's yours for the rest of your life. So he gave her the chain and he left. And when he got to the top of the stairs that he had just come down, there was the girl that had met him at the top with his calf on a string. He said, there you go, Tom. They were looking for this. So Tom was obviously shocked. He made his way home and it was quite dark now at this stage. Back into the house and he tumbled into his bed and he slept the soundest night's sleep, absolutely exhausted. So he woke up the following morning and as he lay in his bed, he said, did that ever happen? Did I really go down to the fort last night? Did I really meet these people? And has all this happened? So he got back out of his bed, ran off down the fields up to the fort. And when he got to the fort, he climbed in over the bank. Well, there wasn't a single sign of a door, not a thing, not a sign that there had ever been a door, completely gone, nothing. And he thought, oh no, I've dreamed the whole bloody thing. But then, just as he was about to leave, at the other side of the fort, he saw glistening in the bushes the chain that he'd given to the lady, hanging on a whitethorn bush. So he walked across to the bush and he took off the chain, as she said, to keep it. And then he noticed on the ground below the bush the outline of a grave. And even as he looked at this grave, the grass was growing back over it, the ivy was growing over it. If he'd been another half an hour later, he'd probably never have seen it. So he took the chain and put it back on, climbed out over the bank of the fort, and he was making his way home. And he said, God, I wonder how is this thing going to work, this gift of foresight? How is it ever going to happen? Oh yeah, and she did say about Eileen Ryan, God, I better ask Eileen Ryan. And the minute he thought about Eileen Ryan, he had a vision. And there, it was like as if he had a vision and he could see the church in the village where they lived. And it was like he was hovering over it, like one of those drones or something that we have now. He could see the crowd of people outside, and there was obviously a wedding going on at the church. And he was able to go down along in his vision, and he went up to the door of the church. And who was going up the bloody aisle of the church? Eileen Ryan with her dad. Oh no, he said, you idiot. You're too late, you've missed it. And he wondered who was at the top of the church, and he peeped up along to see who was the fecker above the top of the church. And he couldn't really see, but he could see the sole of the shoes, the two shoes. And he thought, God, there's a little hole in the shoe there. It is very like, and he looked at his own shoe. It is very like the hole I have in my shoe. And he looked again. God, that's me above the top of the church. Oh my God, Eileen Ryan and me. Oh my God, he said, right, that's it. And the vision was gone. Right, that's it, right. Straight away now, big time. Into town quick and get a haircut. Ask Eileen Ryan for this dance, and I tell you what, I might even go stole that altogether. and buy a new pair of shoes. That's it.
Oh, I love it. I love that you might buy a new pair of shoes. But sure, if you did that, then he wouldn't have known from the vision. All sorts of mad stuff is going on in my head now. Vince, you've given me conundrums, so you have, you know. I love it. I love it. Is that one of your new stories, Vince? Did you put that together?
Yeah, a long time ago though, but yeah.
Yeah. I haven't heard it before. It's new to me. I love that. You
Good.
know, your stories are really wonderfully woven, you know. And I have to tell you that you have a fan, and his name is Paddy Regan. He told me that he really enjoyed your story the last time. He's on the committee in
Wow.
Kerry Writers Museum.
Yeah. Wow.
And today is his birthday.
Well, happy birthday, Paddy. I'm very flattered. I've seen Paddy tell a few times.
That's it, exactly. Oh, sure. Do you know,
Yeah.
Paddy is 30 years at telling stories, and you know, so well known. But
Right.
Vincent, thank you so much for coming. Can't wait to see you in real life, man. Can't wait. You know?
But not too long now. Not too long.
Yeah, not too long to wait, you know. So we'll be talking to you soon. Thanks a million for coming tonight, and we'll see you soon.